Greetings, everyone, and welcome today, 8/13, May the 16th, 2024, and I'm surviving. I saw maybe tomorrow's comment in there, how are the jelly arms? They're still surviving. Tonight is legs night. So tomorrow I'm actually at the eye doctor early in the morning, and tonight, leg night. Tomorrow night is Free Flag Friday raffle. You have to be present to attend. If you are here and new over the past week joining our channel, every Friday night, at least for the next few weeks, probably before I go back to Ukraine, I'm going to be giving away a free signed battle flag from the Frontline. And I don't know, maybe tomorrow night I'll be laying down streaming, but we'll see. Dr. Gertis will be with me tomorrow night. Cheryl Waitley, I see that street comment in there. I will be stretching. Cheryl Waitley, go to my website, hit contact, send me an email with your preferred shipping address. You're getting a free battle flag from all the YouTube communities. Thanking you for your support. If you have already sent it, I didn't receive it or I can't find it. And we'll be all caught up on the shipping for the battle flags in preparation for tomorrow. So, guys, gonna be a full night. In fact, breaking news right now. Breaking news right now. Mayor of Dnipro. Let me do this, and then we'll get into it. But this is like within the last 5 minutes. Here's the front using Johnny's Google Earth. I learned some more about that last night. Every day I'm waking up to Johnny teaching me more about Google Earth, so that's good. Right here, guys, the city of Dnipro. The Mayor Filipino, that's his name, just came out and said public transport is going to be stopping in Dnipro due to mobilization. I'm telling you guys the truth. I mean, I don't even have a slide or nothing for it. It's right now. We'll see what comes from it. We're not going to analyze it, but it is from the mayor. It's not from media. It's not from anybody else. It's from the mayor of the city. Dnipro, a city of 1 million people. We do a lot of work in Dnipro, huge city, and public transportation is going to be stopped due to mobilization. I remind you that a majority of these large cities is serviced by public transportation, meaning more people are on public transportation than in private cars. It's a serious problem. And he specifically was talking about reconstruction of power plants and water systems, and everything will be affected due to that. So maybe by tomorrow we'll have more information on that and we will update you. But that's right now. Right now. So thank you for being here. We're going to start tonight with some good news, but of course we're going to start with the patch of the night. This is a special one. Right from the battle. Security group. I won't call which one exactly. Special forces. Intelligence. Security. Good guys. So here we go. Greetings to all of you. Thank you for being here. Let me do this. Thank you to, okay, so that just confirms it. Here we go. Bam. Power is out in Dnipro right now. Just heard from my friends there. Howdy y'all. $20 super chat from Dunk on You 23. Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time. Dunk on You 23 gifting the 10 memberships. Thank you for that as well. It's interesting. Now, Ukraine is having power issues. In fact, I'm not putting a slide on this out every day because the deja vu is rolling, but tomorrow and the following day, again, large 8-hour blocks of power being out throughout Ukraine. And I'm talking from east to west and north to south. Major cities, small towns, due to the grid being in trouble right now. And now Mayor of Kharkiv, Mayor of Dnipro, literally right as the stream was starting. That's why I was 1 minute late. I was reading it. We'll see. So that's where we're at. We'll see what happens from that. Electric bikes for Ukraine. Is that the next big appeal? A lot of the bigger cities actually have those, and they're parked there. Khmelnytsky has them. Hop on them, put your card on, ride around. But not too much of that going on nowadays. So that's where we're at. Thank you guys, and thank you for confirming that, Dunk on You 23. We're going to start with some good news tonight. And the first one, how about this? I'm going to show this to begin the stream and show this to end the stream. Here you go.
Dear friends, hello from Ukraine. Thank you for your support, for helping our country in this hard time, and especially for you. It's a heart from Ukraine. Blessings.
There you go, guys. We'll start the stream with that, and we'll end the stream with that. That's pretty cool right there. All right, let's get to it. Good news. Ukraine, once again, showing what they can do when they get some supply. They were able to strike again the Belbek airfield. This is not the same strike as yesterday we reported on. This is an additional strike. We've had 2 MiGs taken out. We've had another S-400 system taken out. We've had fuel depots taken out, and we've had ammunition for the Tupolovs and the MiGs taken out. So guys, that's really good. Keith Kane, great comment there. This community is the best. Hope we all win a flag eventually. I do too. I wish I had a flag for everybody, but know that flags are in the hearts. Zhenya's knee is improving. He's moving around and everything's getting better. K-12. I need to put that up here. I'm trying to watch everything. Ukraine losses must be massive if public transportation is stopped. So it's not that there are massive losses in Dnipro, but just looking at it, initial commentary from the mayor. Guys, it's 5 minutes old, 10 at the most, due to mobilization. So people are being taken from their jobs. Don't use the word taken as stolen, but they're leaving empty jobs, and those jobs will be critical infrastructure, such as public transportation. So guys, right here, good news. Now, the next thing I'm going to share with you is really good news. Although you may initially look at it and say, I don't think that's such good news. Oh, it is. 18-year-old student detained in Kharkiv who was helping the Russian Federation plan a new attack on the region. He admitted to walking the city, trying to find the bases of Ukrainian defenders. He admitted to photographing the locations and sending the coordinates to the FSB of Russia. The SBU caught him in the act of taking pictures of a Ukrainian position. How about that? So you say, well, that's bad. There's collaborators. Well, guys, we already told you there's collaborators everywhere. The good news is he was caught. So that's good. Oh, he's done. Now, Ukraine's not going to kill him, but he's done. He's going straight to jail. So that is really good news. And I will tell you personally, if Zhenya was in here with me tonight, he would confirm it. We were hopping out at a restaurant in Kharkiv, in the city, in the center. We were meeting. You know who I met for dinner and I bought him dinner that night? Pete, Project Konstantin. Had him come off position on arrest time, and he made a drive to Kharkiv and took him to dinner. And as we're parking, we're walking past these cars, and this older gentleman is coming right down the line, taking pictures of every car and every license plate. It happens, guys, nonstop, both sides. But we caught one today, and that is really good news. But 18-year-old kid. 18-year-old kid. Now, Vovchansk. Guys, doesn't matter what you're hearing, what you're reading. Vovchansk is bad. I have a few aerial drone images to share with you. City's burning. Population of Vovchansk. I think it was 18,000 pre-war. Let me confirm that. I'm pretty sure. COD, was he being paid or no? He was treasonous. I read the text messages. Yeah, 17,500, 18,000 people, probably 20 in the metro, 17,499, 459 is the city. So 18 to 20,000 population of Vovchansk. Good question there, KBG, and I will get it. Another image of Vovchansk. You can already see, just look in the foreground, all the buildings destroyed. Look at the roofs. That's all from artillery and shelling. I mean, Vovchansk, it's done. It's done. Another image of a guy being rescued from Vovchansk today. The kid was Ukrainian. The kid was Ukrainian. The man has his goats rolling out. I'm having deja vu again talking about Vovchansk, and I'll tell you why. It's right here. And we will look at the map in just a little bit when I actually talk about Kupiansk, and we'll come back up to Vovchansk. But the situation of Vovchansk, and this is from the Minister of Internal Affairs. Here we go again, reporting on the first executions of civilians by the Russian military. The northern part of Vovchansk, and Russia controls that right now, where active hostilities are taking place. Russian military is taking civilians captive. Evacuation continued in the area until today. The police were taking people out despite threats and shelling. As of now, according to operational information, the Russian military, which was trying to gain a foothold in the city, did not allow local residents to evacuate. People began to be kidnapped and driven to the basements. So reminiscent of the beginning of the war in February, March, and April of 2022. If you guys remember at the very, very early parts of the war, Dick Dawson, I had to hop in and get some pronunciations right. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the shills. Especially, we have these great streams. He has great streams every day, or I don't know his full schedule, but almost every day. And on Saturday, we usually have a great panel in there on the shills. So make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to Dickie Dawson and the shills. So he needs to work on some pronunciations for tonight. These are the ones I needed. Okay, so Dick Dawson, here you go. Хорошо, все будет отлично. И если ты будешь говорить как я, братушка моя, твой канал будет растить и растить и грабить. There you go, Dick. All for you, buddy. Tonight, Dick will be doing his complete stream in a foreign language. All right, so deja vu. You remember early in the war, the picture of the guy that was riding the bicycle trying to flee. And very famous picture, he was shot and killed, Bucha Irpin, and he was just laying down on the ground, basically still on his bicycle. We knew that guy. Literally. And he worked in a church there. We knew him. This is exactly the feeling I'm getting in Vovchansk. Ukrainians fleeing, being shot, put into basements. How on earth are we here again? How on earth are we here again? I don't know. I don't know. Zhenya communicating with me right now. Okay, good. So I will share this tomorrow night. And but I just got the confirmation from Jania. Our documentation for export is done on the 4 armored vehicles. So we're on the countdown, guys. I'm going to be streaming one day here in the US, and the next day I'm going to be in Ukraine. I mean, it's happening right now. We told you guys it takes time, but Jania just sent me the documentation. It's going through perfectly. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Deja vu. I'm going to show you this video. Today, President Zelenskyy went to Kharkiv. He spoke about the situation there. He met with military. He visited the hospital where guys have been wounded defending the northern push, Vovchansk. And I'm going to show you that. He was there talking about Kharkiv, the defense of Kharkiv, what needs to be fixed, what has failed, and what's going forward. So Institute for the Study of War put out I think a 5-pointed tweet today. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm 50-50 on this. So you come here because we tell you the truth, and we tell you the truth directly from inside Ukraine. Like, we're not just running with the story of Dnipro right now. I told you, the mayor just said we're having infrastructure problems. Buses are stopping due to mobilization. Okay, we'll come back in 24 hours and see where we're at. This one, we'll continue to watch it. But Institute Study of War says Western prohibitions on the use of Western provided weapon systems for strikes against rear Russia across the border make potential fixed Ukrainian defensive positions close to the international border vulnerable and possibly indefensible, however. So ISW was actually saying that due to Ukraine not being able to fire deep into Russia, this is why they had a failure on the defensive system north of Kharkiv. I completely 1,000,000% disagree with that. 1,000,000% I disagree with that. That is the biggest cock of nothing, and their analysis is usually very good. But I'm going to tell you right now, baloney. Baloney, baloney, baloney. Chernihiv defended perfectly. Sumy, they're in place. Kharkivs are back here. Even along the Eastern Front, Kherson, Zaporizhia, Dnipropetrovsk, the finished defensive lines are there within the same range of artillery. That is in Kharkiv. And Kharkiv has deep forest north of it where they could even have cover doing this. Sure, thermal vision at night and drones. I understand that. But so is the rest of the border of Ukraine. This is a bunch of bonk. They failed here completely. And the fault needs to lie where the fault is. Military messed up here, and guys are getting in trouble because of it. It has nothing to do with Ukraine being able to fire deep into Russia. Baloney. Zelenskyy saying all we need are 2 Patriot systems, and Russia will not be able to capture Kharkiv if we have them. For sure, it will help. For sure, it will help. General consensus, I completely agree here. And if Zhenya was in here, he would completely agree. Ukraine making excuses. I see the other questions in the chat. Why did this happen? The military administration messed up on the northern border of Kharkiv. Okay. Here is, let's see. I want to make sure I get this right. Let's look at this, and then we'll do the videos. This is from The Guardian. How Russia has advanced in Kharkiv despite warnings attack was coming. Dan Sabag, Defense and Security Editor of The Guardian. Shortage of munitions, fighters, and air defenses leaves Ukraine unprepared to repel attack. On the right, British intelligence warned the Ukrainian authorities about the impending Russian offensive in the Kharkiv region. Unprepared defensive lines, delays in the supply of weapons, and a lack of manpower prevented it from being stopped. Let me repeat that. British intelligence warned the Ukrainian authorities about the impending Russian offensive in the Kharkiv region. Unprepared defensive lines, delays in the supply of weapons. Yes, that's on the United States and others. No problem there. And lack of manpower prevented it from being stopped. Completely agree. Completely agree. This is aerial photos released from, that's RDK. Oh, thank you, in that picture. Guys, it's right here for the world to see. The concrete bunker lines were never finished. They're all supposed to have tops on them, guys, and shooting positions like they are in the rest of Ukraine. I've been inside of them physically with my body. This is a tragedy, a travesty. You can see all the other black lines with their designs and the line positions. You can see the concrete and the laying on the ground. Well, there was a drone flying overhead. Well, so there was also in Chernihiv and Sumy and Donetsk and Zaporizhia and Kherson and Mykolaiv, and they got it done. In fact, Kherson put out a video after this came out about how good their regional defenses are. Like finished, concreted, roofed, firing positions, egress points. It's done perfectly. This is a tragedy. This supply is just sitting on the side of the road. There, just sitting. Oh, Susie, the tracks were dug, but triangles not placed. No. Dragon's Teeth, we're not even there yet. Guys, I have seen myself, Johnny Pierce has as well, Zhenya, of course, lines in the south like that. Three of those lines. Boonk, boonk, boonk. Let me get my full camera. Boonk, boonk, boonk. And then 3 sets of Dragon's Teeth, the concrete triangles, done properly. There's no excuse. Zero excuse. And trying to push it off somewhere else is not going to help. Is anyone demanding resignations of the embezzling idiots who stopped the construction? They've already been fired, guys. These generals have already been rotated out. It's too late now. We've got people being killed in the streets of Vovchansk, civilians being shot. Here.
Because of the package which we waited through 8 months.
Is what's happening now in Kharkiv, is this America's fault?
It's the fault of the world that the world gave possibility to Putin to occupy other country, and I think so. But now the world can help.
Do you feel that Secretary Blinken's visit went well? Did you get what you wanted?
So, okay, I support President Zelenskyy 1,000,000%, and I do not disagree with what he said there. Yet, I personally would have loved him to say the lack of supply held up in the United States for 6 to 8 months of political grandstanding cost us dearly. But in addition to that, we take full responsibility for maybe where our defensive lines were not properly prepared. And maybe when we didn't listen to the degree we should have to British intelligence, French intelligence, American intelligence, you put them all together, including allowing Putin to continue his war machine economically, and we have what we have. That would have been a better answer. Not that his answer was wrong. It just would have played better for him politically to say the fault's lying in multiple places, and where we need to be responsible, we will be responsible. And where the world needs to be responsible, the world can be responsible. Together, we can work on fixing this. Listen, this is why I love Zelenskyy right here. I didn't translate it, no need to, but this is the kind of president takes care of his guys. He's in the hospital. He says, health to you guys, and he actually gave the official military greeting, Бажаю здоров'я, хлопці.
Якось виключу. Як ви почуваєте?
Готується на подальший оцінку.
Ну, вже посміхаєтесь навіть. Ну, дай Бог, одужуйте, хлопці. А ви як себе почуваєте?
He's thanking them, telling them that, you know, God will take care of them.
Хлопці, за те, що ви робите.
Thank you for your
Дякую вам за
work.
вашу мужність. Одужуйте.
Rest, get better. Thank you for your service. Shakes hands, give the Lord's. There's a young fella. No. Lay down, lay down. Here's your award.
Не лежіть, будь ласка. Дякую за службу. До побачення, хлопці. Всього найкращого. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Вдячний вам за ваш героїзм.
Thank you for your heroism.
Підтримати і нагородити.
Thank you for what you're doing.
І я вам дякую.
Одужуйте.
Thank you. And he says, and I thank you.
Ну, вже я бачу. Дякую вам за службу.
Thank you, thank you. And this one, though, right here. Okay. I need to back it up. I have seen personally so many grandfathers fighting for their children and their grandchildren. And there is a great example of a Ukrainian hero. That man for sure is over 60 years old. And do not get me wrong, 60's not old. 70's not old. When I turned 51, 60, quite young. But the reality is, lots of guys this age are fighting. Lots of guys that age. He's probably 30, 32. These guys are getting their awards. So it's really good. It's really good. Yeah. Make sure I didn't miss anything there. Right here. Still talking about Kharkiv, Vovchansk in the north. Here's a real story.
Ви залишаєтесь?
Are you staying?
Чого?
Yes, why?
Чого не їдете?
Why are you not leaving? Who am I going to go to? I don't have anybody. My legs don't work. I'm shaking. That's it, son. I have nowhere to go and nobody to go to.
Всім допомагають.
But in Kharkiv, they help everyone. Let them help people. God help them.
Так, а не страшно залишатися?
Aren't you afraid to stay? There's fighting nearby. So be it. What'll happen will happen. It doesn't matter if they kill me. At least I'll be at home. There it is, guys. This is Vovchansk. And I just believe we're facing some of these things that we should not be facing. And we can come down exactly back. These defensive lines did not help. Maybe not paying enough attention to military intelligence about Kharkiv. For sure, lack of supply coming led by the United States, 1,000,000%, of course, is a part of this. And lack of manpower. This is why we're seeing the mobilization. And by the way, in 2 days, the new mobilization laws take effect. Trying to cover some of those for you tomorrow night on Flag Friday. That's where we're at. Look at the map for a second. I want to show you guys something. Russian Federation increasing fire on Kupiansk, not moving forward, just increasing fire. There is an advance in Vovchansk. Russian troops continue their tactical offensive north of Kharkiv and Lipsy and east in Globoky. The H has a G sound. But the armed forces of Ukraine, however, are repelling these attacks and stabilizing those points. That's good. Urban battles continue in the north, Vovchansk, as small Russian sabotage and intelligent groups are trying to gain a foothold in the settlement. Now, I just want to show you guys this real quick. And I know JR is in here. Thank you, sir. Johnny sent me the message, JR, and says, Greg couldn't get the roads turned on. You see they're on tonight. So Jordan Rolos, Johnny's mapper, and actually Johnny on ATP Geopolitics did a really good video today about JR's writing. I watched that, JR. So thank you for access to these maps. I really appreciate it. But here is Kharkiv, guys, and this belt road. I need to change that color. Yeah, it's easier to see. This belt road, and they're pushing in towards Lipsy, and of course up here's Vovchansk. And what is happening is exactly what we were telling you yesterday with Zhenya. It's not like they're sending in mass, like thousands and thousands and thousands of soldiers and equipment. It's not what's happening. Are there tanks in northern Vovchansk? Absolutely. I've seen the pictures. They're there. Are they mercilessly shelling it? Glide bombs? Absolutely. But what they are doing to try to gain some of these villages, let me do this. I'm getting better. You'll have to report, JR. So you see the RU gains here. They're pushing small groups like this. And their goal is, for example, when they get to Lipsy, is these small groups come down and then they gather together to create a stronger force. And of course, shelling coming in. So that's what they're doing. And that's what the analysis was. The same thing is happening here at Staryutsia and going towards Prilipka. But the Seversky Donets River is here. And up here in the north, it's not as a big a barrier as it is down south in Donetsk Oblast, but it's still a barrier on that river. And here is actually Vovchansk. And I'll give you guys the city limits of Vovchansk, basically, with the metro. Or like that. So you can see about a third of the territory of Vovchansk has been taken. And, but guys, all of this right here is smashed. That's a lot of the pictures I was showing you earlier are from this circle right here, where a lot of the burning is happening. And of course, up in the north. We'll see. We'll see what happens and we watch it, but that's the north. Now, I was telling you that Russia is firing a lot in Kupiansk. direction. And let me show you that right here. Where's Kupiansk? Here. This is, man, I can't find, I know Kupiansk is right here. Okay, I'm losing my mind. Kupiansk, right here. I know I'm making y'all sick now. Right here. Whew. This push here. Sorry, guys. I'm getting used to Johnny's map. The push here, but not with military. They're basically pushing artillery into this place. Actually, I can show you here. Here's Kupiansk firing. This is what Ukraine's under nonstop.
Остаткам! Огонь!
Fire!
Батарея, отбой!
I mean, could you imagine? Sorry about that. I turned the volume down too late. Forgive me. But if you want reality, you need to be near those things when they really go off. Not that that was not real, but be physical in the flesh. So that's what's happening there. This is coming down. Not really worried about these positions. It's the same. Chasiv Yar, Russia is creeping up on the sides here. And they're going to do a three-prong push on this. But guys, once again, Ukrainians holding this, doing the best they can, but this entire Chasiv Yar is leveled. And they're just going to continue. They're just going to continue to level it every day. Ukraine has made some gains taking back these fields here to the west of Solovyovi, which is good. But we still have this push out of Ocherny here. Not that they're getting any closer, but it puts them 10 kilometers from the highway intersection here. And this absolutely cannot fall. 100%. Ukraine has to hold that. No question. No question. I've driven that road 100 times. That's the road. I'm going to stand by my concern that this area is going to end up being very important as we go forward on their desire for Pokrovsk, and that is Krasnogorivka. Johnny, when we were talking, gave great analysis how Russia was trying to bring these two positions together, and they roughly did. And basically, this section here of Krasnogorivka is gone. Once again, Krasnogorivka, about the same size as Vovchansk, 18,000 pre-war. And this is such an important town. Such an important town. Why? Because this town right here, I'm telling you guys today, May 16th, keep your eyes on Kharkiv. Because once this is taken, if it is taken, then it's assault on Kharkiv. And the ultimate goal is to get to Pokrovsk. It's so simple. So simple to see. We've been to all these places, guys. Last thing on the map down here is, unfortunately, Robotyny is, for all intents and purposes, fallen. Now, it's not a big city. It's a small town. Ukraine's done an amazing job holding out. But Russia has the high ground this way. They can just tear it up. And they've pushed in. This is the little town we've talked about so much. You guys have given so much aid, just so you know, for these guys in Robotny. We supply everybody working this front. Kharkiv, we spend much time in, and it's tough. It's tough down here, but the guys are doing an amazing job to hold with the resources they have, and we, meaning all of you, have supplied them nonstop. So thank you for that generosity. You're helping there. Once again, when we come down to Kherson, it's just nonstop, guys. You look at it and you go, well, the red line's over here. I know it is. But it's relentless. It's a city under siege. And it is nonstop shelling. Every day. Daytime, nighttime, nonstop. So that's where we're at on the map analysis. Speaking of Kherson, this is Kherson today. 4 wounded, and yes, that guy by the blue coat is grabbing a man's arm. That man was not killed. He was wounded. He will survive. He was in that truck when it was hit at a terminal. Every day in Kherson. Guys, when you go to bed at night or you're thinking, always be thinking about Kherson. Yes, my favorite city in Ukraine is Kherson. Reuters came out a couple of hours ago saying Ukraine is preparing for a major Russian offensive in the coming weeks. Russia's Kharkiv offensive is a headache for Ukrainian military staff. I would agree with that. A big headache, a migraine. But there is an obvious buildup of Russian units near the Sumy region. Probably the attack in the Kharkiv region is an attempt to draw the limited reserves of the Ukrainian armed forces into battle before the start of the main summer offensive. You may be asking, so this is not the offensive? No, this is not the offensive. Greetings to you, Prof. Gertis. This is not the offensive. This is just an incursion. Now, you may be sitting there tonight going, okay, well, that's just Reuters, Greg. Reuters doesn't know. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, then we'll go here. On the border with the Sumy region, this is Stanislav Osman. The enemy is planning something. The equipment is being brought closer to the border zone, but not yet the amount that we cannot defend. We are waiting. We are preparing. When was this sent? May the 16th, 12:28 p.m. Hello to you, Professor Gertis. So, Reuters, personal witness. It's happening. Now, guys, I'm going to take you now to Sumy. We're going to zoom out. We're going to go right up to Sumy. I'm going to show you guys. Let's do it like that. All right. Here's Kharkiv. Here's where the incursions have taken place. Why? Very, very simple. Very simple. Russia wants not only a gray zone down here, but they want to get into artillery range where they can do to Kharkiv what they are doing to Kherson. This is simple. They do not have enough equipment or soldiers north of Kharkiv to take Kharkiv. Not at all. They have enough to cause a major headache of migraine proportions, especially when the world has been slow with supply, mobilization is not yet solved, and the defensive positions were not ready. But this is not the offensive. Now, I'm going to draw your attention to this Sumy line right here. When this war started in 2022, and for those of you guys that are new here, I have worked in Ukraine for 26 years, 10 months on this front line, heading back soon due to the generosity of all of these wonderful people around the world. You know, Jake Bro has his amazing fundraiser going. So proud of that. We've been communicating, and I'm congratulating him, and he's just pumped. And then the NAFO, Professor Gertis working through us, Rick and his stuff, Johnny, Shills, and the Mercado, the list goes on and on. Starsky. We're all doing a great job standing together. And we will continue. But I remember in December of 21, in January of 22, in early February of 22, the world was watching the Eastern Front on Lugansk and Donetsk, and Russia kept building up and building up and building up. And we were caught with our pants down. And here we are today. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Zhenya, I've had Johnny here. I cannot tell you where, but you see where the red line is here? We were there. We were there. And Zhenya and I go there every loop of aid we do, right somewhere in there. This is the city of Sumy. 6 months ago. Ready? 6. There's a big 6 right there. 6 months ago, I was told by our soldier friends in that frontline area, Greg, the drone attacks are increasing against us. Greg, the DRG is increasing activity in Sumy. Greg, we're seeing more supply being stored across the border when we're doing our reconnaissance in our jobs. 6 months ago. 3 months ago, I'm there. Same guys go, there's a lot of stuff across that border. Like, very dangerous for us. And then the glide bombs started. Fast forward to today. They being Russia, are pushing equipment and soldiers to this line. But there is already equipment and supplies at that line. So whatever you see being tweeted or telegrammed or whatever, oh, supplies coming in. Guys, supplies already there. It's been there for 6 months and then 3 months. And we're seeing the step up by step up by step up. So when you see Reuters saying this and you see British intelligence, we warned you about Kharkiv, and then you have Ukrainian soldiers going, we see stuff coming. Do not be surprised if this is not the summer offensive. They will not be able to do more than 2 pushes. And what I mean by that is 2 concentrated lines. I personally believe they will continue pushing out of Chasiv Yar. They'll try to get it completely occupied. I believe they will continue to push right there on that southern. They've got a good grapple, and they're going to try to push here, and they're going to try to smash Kharkiv into oblivion. Why are they going to do that? Because then they want to negotiate. They want to negotiate. Ultimately, they would be happy with that. Unless it turns around, May the 16th, 2024, not being sad, we're being realistic. Do not sleep on Sumy. We've got to get Kharkiv defended, and we've got to get this south resupplied, and Ukraine needs soldiers. That's where we're at on the map, and I'm very comfortable that analysis is accurate, up to the point, calculating both sides and reality. I'll repeat it one more time. Ukraine needs soldiers, and a lot of them. Mobilization from the age of 25 can add approximately 100,000 young fighters to the armed forces. That would mean guys that were born between 1998 and 1999. So I did a little research statistical look. How many males were born in Ukraine in 1998 to 1999? 418,000 recorded births. So if 100,000 25-year-old males go into mobilization, that's 25% of the males that were born that year. Some of those have already left the country. Many of those are already fighting. So what is the real number to draw from? This is what we have to pay attention to. This is why mobilization is complicated in Ukraine. Professor Gerda's question, how much of this is related to Russia trying to stop cross-border incursions? Prof, are you talking about Kharkiv? Yorin Rolovs, what about the female population? I've got so much going on here. Thank you, Paul, for helping me. Thank you. I'll wait for Professor Gerdes to follow up with that. Let me tell you how, I'll tell you how Russia operates in just a second. Oh, wow. Okay. You guys are doing awesome on the chat right now. So I can't push them up. I can actually here. Okay, let's do it this way. I'm going to jump in here and help you, Paul. How about the female population, even if just behind the zero line? Yes, that will happen. They will be mobilizing. And I can tell you right now, we did a report on this about a month ago. 78,000, 80,000 is the number of females serving actively in the Ukrainian army. Okay, Paul, Dr. Gerdes referring to the incursions into Belgorod. Yes. Not only that. Okay, so let me go back. Man, we're having a great stream. Love the interaction. Let's do that. Let's go back here. Professor Gerdes, right here. So let's do that like that. Here is the city of Belgorod Professor Gerdes is talking about. Here is the border, Russian-Ukrainian border. So you can see where the incursions have taken place. But here's Kharkiv. At the closest point, well, from where they're at now, it's really close, but typically about 26 kilometers from their closest position where they can fire. There was an apartment building hit in Belgorod, okay? 17 were killed. Of course, they blamed it on Ukraine, and nobody will ever know. Some say, well, Russia struck their own building, Russia blew it up, it was a Ukrainian missile, whatever, okay? The bottom line is a section of building fell, 17 were killed, and is this a reprisal for that? Absolutely not. No, because the attack or the destruction of that portion of that building in Belgorod, there's no way Russia would have had the time to plan what they were planning for this incursion here. There is a reason for this. It has nothing to do with Belgorod. This is a distraction. This is to give shelling artillery range into Kharkiv. And then I'll do that angle. This right there is to draw resources from the east. I can already tell you with 1,000,000% certainty that somewhere out of the south down here, Frontline guys have rotated to Kharkiv. I cannot tell you from where. but 100%. You say, well, how do you know it's 100%? Because they told Zhenya, they called him and told him, we're having to rotate. This is why the incursion. What does that do? It just stretches the resources along the front, and we keep our eye on Sumy. It's not a response for some missile or some refinery or some airplane. This is a part of a larger plan, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in regard to this. How many they're actually able to mobilize. Antok C. Greg, what do you think about new International Legion rules that allowing foreigners without military experience? Right now, Ukraine needs all the help it can get. There are many, many jobs in the Foreign Legion that do not have to be zero line. Drivers, mechanics, logistics, learn to fly a drone, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody thinks that, like, if you're mobilized or you volunteer or you go to the military, you're straight to the zero line. Guys, there is a massive amount of jobs that are needing filling in Ukraine, whether through the Ukrainian army or the International Legion. It was just proved Russian S-300 missile that didn't work properly. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, because, and just so you know, Ukraine has S-300s too. So it's not just Russia that has S-300s, just FYI. And they'll both have the same Russian markings on them, the same language in Russian from the Soviet Union times in the 90s. So both sides have S-300s. We tell you the truth here. Yeah, NATO agent Jason Bourne. Muscovite forces are already in place to invade Ukraine when that building was hit. Had been building for several months. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you had a nice comment in there, and I'm trying to catch up with everything, NATO agent Jason Bourne, about, let's talk about the future that was going on in the chat. And rightfully so. Love to talk about the future. But guys, there's no way to predict the future without realizing the present. Zhenya and I made the decision from day one. We will never deal in hopium. We believe in truth. The truth was the front line needed armored vehicles for extraction of wounded soldiers. We put the need out there for all of you wonderful people. Professor Gertis and all the other guys jumped in, and we raised in 39 days $271,000. The vehicles are purchased, being set up, exported to Ukraine. We will deliver them to the front. It's not hopium. The need was there, and the world responded. That's how Ukraine needs to do it. Guys, we need help in mobilization. We need help in supply. This is where our vulnerabilities are. This is where our strengths are. World, come together and help us stand against this. Much better. I remind you, it was just 9 months ago. I could look them up for timing. Where Budanov is sitting in Kyiv. And yes, he's a good man, a good soldier, good intelligence. Sometimes not the wisest in his statements. We'll have Crimea by April. We'll have Crimea by June. Just pay attention to the big narrative. Budanov has left Kyiv, went straight to Kharkiv, and got that situation fixed in regard to infrastructure. Syrskyi went to Kharkiv, got that infrastructure fixed in regard to the failure there. Zelenskyy went to Kharkiv. Guys, pay attention to those stories, not the tweets, not the hopium. Not the YouTubers out there talking about, well, this is going great, this is going great, and they never send $1 to Ukraine. Turn those crappy people off. It's frustrating. People are getting rich over this war who never even stepped foot inside of Ukraine. And then other Ukrainians who leave Ukraine and think they're supporting Ukraine when the Ukrainian army 2 days ago calls them gypsies because they just leave their country and they want to talk about how great Ukraine is, but do nothing to help it. I'm getting frustrated now. 30 attackums flying. We just blew up South Crimea. Bullcrap. We took out an S-400 and 2 planes. And we've got people trapped in a basement and being shot by Russian soldiers. But my God, we blew them up. It's very frustrating for me. I've lost so many friends in Ukraine. I have dinner with guys one night and the next night they're killed in Kharkiv. And we've got to listen to crap on the internet and people in the media and politicians who don't know their head from a hole in the ground that hold up aid. We have Turkey and Erdogan supporting Russia and selling the fuel to the EU, relabeling it, and the EU buying it. We've got American-made products, and you can never stop it. Goes through third parties, through Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan and China and India. You can never stop it. But we're going to sit around here and think we can win this war by just going, yes. No, we win the war by telling the truth. And the truth is Ukraine has the best soldiers. Ukraine has the best intelligence. Ukraine has the desire. Ukraine has home field advantage. Ukraine is fighting for freedom and truth and democracy. Ukraine is fighting for you, your children, and your grandchildren, even in Europe and America and Australia and Africa and South America. They're doing it, and we must help them. And we do not help them when we say, oh man, we just knocked out 3 tanks. Ukraine's going to have Chasiv Yar, run the Russians through Bakhmut, and we're going to take Bakhmut again. What are you smoking? I think that the workout today is going to be good. I think it's really going to be good. I love this country. I love Ukraine. More than you guys will ever know. I promise you. And I know you love it, or you wouldn't be here. And you wouldn't support. And you wouldn't give your money. And you wouldn't trust people that are like our coalition of guys that will get it done. Nafo, Jake, Prof, Johnny, Rick. Mercado's done like 18 Nafo trucks. Hello, the proof's in the pudding. Dick Dawson and the Shields. Stand together, guys. Stand together. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. Because there's one more day, and I don't want to go there yet. I do, though, want to show one thing. I'm waiting on the China-Russia thing. So far, it's basically a nothing burger, although a couple of things. And I want to show you what Lavrov and Shoigu said. I'm getting that translated for you. But this is the last 2 things I want to share with you tonight. And I'm sorry, I guess that was a Johnny rant, but sometimes it just builds up and you just get aggravated. I look at some of these thumbnails that people put out and I don't know what planet they're on. They've obviously know nothing about this war. And I'm not speaking about anyone in particular. I'm just in general. Just in general. I don't operate that way. How Turkey became Putin's pit stop for selling camouflage fuel to the EU. Moscow bagged €3 billion through sanctions. Loophole that allows Turkey to relabel Russian oil and ship it to the EU. I know Prof. Gertis is in here and he's doing a piece on this, or probably already has. Turkey disguising Russian oil as it owns and exports to the EU, which brings billions in profits to Russia. Between February 23 and February 24, Turkey increased its purchases from Russia by 105% compared to the previous 12 months. During the same period, Turkish fuel exports to the EU jumped by 107%. I wonder what that is. It's called Russian oil getting to the European Union through NATO, by the way. Turkey's NATO. Through NATO. Just saying. I tried to learn how to say the right way for the prime minister. I was calling it FICO, but I think it's Fico, or however you respectfully say his name. That's what I'm trying to say. But today, Pellegrini, who was the president-elect of Slovakia, gave an update and says he's in critical condition. I was able to speak a few words to him. But then he gave his press conference in Slovakian, and then he switched to English at the end, and I watched it. And he said, guys, our world is destabilized right now. There was an attempt on a German politician. There was the assassination attempt of our prime minister. There is destabilization in French territories that is requiring their attention. And today, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, said that he received threats after the assassination attempt on Slovak Prime Minister Fico. Let me just ask you a question. I'm not saying it's coming from the Kremlin, but it wouldn't surprise me. And secondly, for sure, it brings destabilization and geopolitical uncertainty when you have this level of people having attempts upon their life and then having death threats. We have to pay attention to it. And we will continue to do that. So guys, that's where we're at today. Tomorrow will be Free Flag Friday. Cheryl Waitley, I see you in the chat. Make sure you email me or message on some Discord somewhere, and I need to get your address because you're getting a flag. And Prof, thank you for being in here and chatting. Thank you guys for enduring the JP rant. Sometimes it gets personal. Tomorrow, Free Flag Friday. We will be streaming tomorrow. And during the time, usually a little longer, maybe 90 minutes or whatever, Prof. Gertis will be popping in and out, and we will be giving away, raffling a flag. I'll have the sign up tomorrow, pinned in the chat. You guys know what to do. If not, you click that, you put your name, email, won't share your email. We learned that one. And somebody will win that flag, and I'll mail it to you. So thank you for that. Yes, autograph flag from the front, must be present to win. And that'll do it. So we'll keep our eye on things. You guys be blessed. Good things are happening. Also tomorrow, video of the ground drone you guys purchased for saving lives in the hands of the military. I've got the video now, and you will see it. Thank you guys. As always, be blessed. Adrian, I see you there. You're welcome for the update and the rant. And Adrian, thank you as always there in Switzerland for your great support of Ukraine. All of you. Thank you. You guys be blessed. We'll see you in 23 hours. Good night.
Слава Україні!